Let's head around the Inside Politics table, ask our great reporters to share a nugget or two from their notebooks. Jonathan Martin.
Well, the person who was not in Iowa yesterday, but a lot of folks are talking about, is Marco Rubio. And the senator from Florida was down in Florida talking to some of his donors. There's been lots of speculation he's not going to run for president because Jeb Bush apparently is going to run for president. But what I hear is that he still very much wants to do it. And one of the things that is really keeping him intrigued by this race is the possibility that Mitt Romney will run. If you have a Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney scenario, that could open up a door for Rubio because it divides the center right. And also, it makes Rubio look more conservative and less establishment.
Maybe he can say he's the younger guy in that group, too.
Exactly right.
Molly Ball?
On the Democratic side, we had Vice President Joe Biden come out and say this week that there is still a chance that he will run for president. You know, the advantage that Joe Biden has, he has friends all over the country, a lot of goodwill among the Democratic activists that he's known for literally decades, literally, folks. And so I talked to some well-placed Democrats in Iowa who would be hearing from him if he were serious about this, because that's what he would be doing. And they say they are not hearing from him. They haven't even gotten that call that says, hey, do me a favor, keep your powder dry. So all the signs out there, this is the time when he would need to be reaching out to those people that he's known for a long time, and they're not hearing from Joe Biden.
Does tell you something. Speaks volumes, Ed.
Off the trail, back up to Capitol Hill. It's week 4 of the new congressional year, and it's make or break time for Mitch McConnell. The Keystone XL pipeline nearing its conclusion, the debate in the Senate. There was some bad feelings, though, late Thursday night as Mitch McConnell shut down debate on a bunch of amendments. Remember, this kind of violates the principle and the pledge he made that there would be an open amendment, open debate process. Expect to see Republicans allow for a few more, at least this week, partly because the moderate Democrats that Republicans are going to need to pass this bill expressed some displeasure about it over the weekend, and there's some concern that if they get upset, either they part ways on this bill or they won't be there in the future.
Big first test for the new majority leader. We'll watch that, Julie.
You know, we've heard a lot this week about what President Obama wants to do domestically in his domestic agenda. He hasn't talked quite as much about another priority of his, which is to get an authorization for the use of military force against the Islamic State. He talked about it a little in the State of the Union. Some people think he goofed a little when he said, we need that authority. That's actually a change in position for him. He said in the past he doesn't need the authority, but now he really wants Congress to give him some legislation that would authorize that fight. Internally in the White House, the discussions are really heating up about what that should look like, and they're anticipating quite a fight on Capitol Hill, both with Republicans and Democrats. It may come up this week when the president talks behind closed doors with House Democrats when they retreat in Philadelphia, but that could be coming to a head at the very same time as they're talking about Iran sanctions. So he has quite a bumpy road ahead of him in Congress for his foreign policy agenda, too.
Still odd seeing this president asking for authorization for military force. We'll watch that one. I'll close with this. You'll be hard-pressed to find a credible Republican strategist who views Sarah Palin as a credible presidential candidate. And few think in the end she's really serious about 2016. But she did say yesterday she's giving it a serious look. And to borrow a phrase, if she did run, well, don't underestimate her potential impact in Iowa. Remember, Iowa's role is not to pick the Republican nominee, but it does winnow the field. And in a crowded field, Palin would be competing with Ted Cruz, Rick Santorum, Mike Huckabee, and Ben Carson, maybe others, for Tea Party and evangelical votes. Again, odds are, like the Donald, she just likes the attention and won't run. But while top Republican operatives were laughing at Trump's latest flirtation with running, the possibility of a Palin entry, however distant, had them both laughing and debating her potential impact. We'll keep an eye on that.